This is the Atmos clock, or I like to call it a pain in the ass clock. It's a self-winding movement, spring driven. It's got a sealed bellows filled with some chemical that has a wicked coefficient of expansion. So as the temperature changes, they got some chains and springs to wind it up. As long as you got a variation in temperature, it just keeps on winding. It never overwinds because of the springs. It's a 15 joule movement. Swiss made. I think it's made in the 60s. I'll have to verify the date. And it's got a pendulum there, torsional on the bottom. It's a minute for it to go back and forth, or 30 seconds to go one way. It's very slow. That's why it can be wound off from the air. And if we go to the side, we can see the movements. You see the big round thing in the back, that's where the bellows is, that's filled with that chemical. And you see the pendulum there swinging. Then you see the movement at the top there. Well, that long thing that goes up, you can see the roller. It's going all the way back. And that the round thing closest is small round thing with the big gear. That's where the mainspring is. You can see a chain there winding it. You see the roller coming around there near the top. This silver round thing. It's gonna move the pallet fork. Just did that. Let's see if we can get a closer view of the whole thing. Full focus. Yeah, there it is. That's an interesting movement. I bought it because, you know, that's interesting that it never has to be wound. Yeah, you see the roller there at the top is going to hit the pallet fork. That long skinny thing, and it just... and that's all it does. And it does it with a very little amount of energy required. It's a nice looking clock, but the reason I call it a pain in the ass is you got to keep it on something that doesn't vibrate or move, because that weight will start shaking back and forth since it's held by a really thin piece of wire. And we'll see how long it will last before it runs out.